Here's a long-form cinematic-style article you can use for YouTube narration. It's written in a continuous storytelling flow, about 1600 words, with no headings. The year was 1974, and Porsche was at a crossroads. The world was changing, stricter safety and emission standards were reshaping the automotive landscape, and yet, the 911 still stood tall as the embodiment of everything the brand represented. The 911S Targa was not just another sports car, it was a statement, a balance of engineering purity and everyday usability, wrapped in a design that had already become iconic. For enthusiasts, the open-air freedom of the Targa combined with the power of the flat six created something that no rival could truly replicate. Fast forward nearly 50 years, and what was once a shining piece of Stuttgart engineering had aged, scarred by time, weather, and neglect. Rust had crept into the panels, the engine had grown tired, the paint had lost its luster, and the interior told the story of decades of wear. Many would look at such a car and see only a relic. But to true Porsche lovers, it was not just a car, it was a legend waiting to be reborn. The journey began with a vision, to bring this 1974 Porsche 911S Targa back to life, not as a museum piece locked away from the world, but as a machine that could once again thrill, inspire, and honor its heritage. Every great restoration begins with a strip down, and this one was no exception. The car was taken apart piece by piece, down to the bare shell. What lay underneath was not for the faint-hearted. Years of corrosion had eaten through the steel, hidden beneath layers of paint and filler from previous repairs. Floor pans were brittle, fenders were pockmarked with rust, and the once solid structure was showing its age. But rather than discouraging the team, it fueled their determination. This was not just about fixing a car, it was about preserving history. With precision and care, the restoration team began the long process of cutting away the damaged steel, fabricating fresh panels, and welding them into place. Every cut, every weld was a step toward returning the Targa to the strength it once had. The beauty of a restoration lies not only in what you see but also in what you don't. Beneath the fresh paint that would eventually cover it lay hours upon hours of meticulous metalwork, ensuring that this Porsche would not just look beautiful but would stand the test of time for decades to come. Once the body was solid again, the next chapter began, preparing it for paint. Stripped to bare metal, the shell revealed its elegant yet purposeful curves. The Targa's lines are timeless, but they demand perfection. Countless hours went into sanding, aligning, and refining every surface until the body was ready to wear its new coat. Choosing the color was more than just a cosmetic decision. For a car like this, the paint represents its soul. After all, the 911 is instantly recognizable by its silhouette, but its character shines brightest when dressed in a color that suits its era and spirit. The final choice brought back the Porsche to its glory days, with a deep, flawless finish that gleamed under the lights, capturing every reflection with jewel-like clarity. But a Porsche is far more than its body. At the heart of this legend lies the engine, the iconic flat six. For decades, it has been the beating heart of the 911, delivering that unmistakable sound, that unique blend of smoothness and raw energy. The 1974 911S came equipped with a 2.7-liter flat six, an engine that was both revered and, in some ways, controversial. Known for its performance but also for the challenges it faced with heat and emissions, it required careful and experienced hands to rebuild it properly. This was not just a repair, it was a resurrection. The engine was disassembled down to the last nut and bolt. Each component was inspected, measured, and either restored or replaced with authentic parts. Cylinder heads were machined, new pistons and rings were fitted, bearings replaced, and the crankshaft was polished to perfection. The fuel system and ignition were refreshed, ensuring modern reliability without compromising originality. And when it all came together, the engine roared back to life with that unmistakable Porsche soundtrack, a mechanical symphony that rises and falls like nothing else in the automotive world. Of course, a car is not defined by its engine alone. The suspension, steering, and brakes play just as vital a role in creating the driving experience. Every bushing, every joint, every damper was renewed. The suspension was rebuilt to factory specification, ensuring the car would handle with the precision that made the 911 a legend on both road and track. Brakes were fully overhauled, giving the driver the confidence to push the car as it was meant to be pushed. The steering, with its direct and mechanical feel, was tightened to bring back that intimate connection between driver and machine. Inside the car, the transformation was just as dramatic. The 911's interior is a masterclass in purposeful design, simple, driver-focused, and timeless. But decades of use had taken their toll. The seats were worn, the dash was cracked, and the once proud details had dulled with age. Piece by piece, it was all restored. The seats were reupholstered in high-quality leather, maintaining the original patterns and stitching that Porsche used in the 70s. The dashboard was refinished, gauges rebuilt and recalibrated, carpets replaced, and every detail attended to with care. The result was an interior that felt fresh, but not sterile. It retained the warmth and character of a classic car, while offering the comfort and refinement of a freshly completed restoration. The Targa roof, that ingenious blend of open-air motoring and solid protection, was also given the attention it deserved. Its mechanism was restored, seals replaced, and the covering renewed, allowing the car to deliver the joy of top-down driving without the drawbacks of leaks or wind noise. For many, the Targa represents the perfect compromise between coupe and convertible, and in this car, that balance was fully restored. When all the pieces came together, the gleaming body, the freshly rebuilt engine, the renewed suspension, the flawless interior, the result was breathtaking. The 1974 Porsche 911S Targa stood once again as it had decades before, a symbol of driving pleasure and engineering excellence. But perhaps more importantly, it carried with it the story of the people who had saved it. Restorations are as much about passion as they are about skill. Every hour spent sanding, welding, or tuning was driven by a love for what this car represents. This is the essence of Porsche heritage, the idea that these machines are not disposable, but timeless. They deserve to be cherished, protected, and passed down through generations. The first drive after such a restoration is always unforgettable. The engine fires with an eagerness that sends a shiver down your spine. The clutch engages smoothly, the gears slot home with that mechanical precision, and as the car rolls forward, it feels alive once more. Out on the open road, the Targa delivers everything Porsche promised in 1974, the agility of a lightweight sports car, the balance of rear engine handling, and the joy of feeling the wind rush past with the roof removed. It is both a time machine and a living, breathing machine, connecting driver and road in a way that few modern cars can match. What makes this restoration truly special is that it is more than the sum of its parts. It is not just metal, rubber, and glass brought back to life, it is a tribute. A tribute to the engineers who first designed it, to the era it was born into, and to the countless enthusiasts who have kept the Porsche spirit alive. Cars like this remind us that automotive history is not just written in books or museums, it lives on every time a restored classic takes to the road. This 1974 Porsche 911S Targa is more than just a car. It is a piece of living history, a symbol of passion, and a reminder of what can be achieved when skill meets dedication. For those who witness its rebirth, it stands as proof that legends never truly fade, they only wait for the right hands to bring them back to life. And as the sun sets and the Targa glides down the road, its flat six singing through the gears, one truth becomes clear: this is not just a restoration. It is the continuation of a story that began half a century ago, a story that will inspire for many years to come. So when you see this Porsche, know that you are not just looking at polished paint and gleaming chrome. You are seeing history reborn, a dream realized, and a legacy preserved. This is the magic of classic car restoration. This is the Porsche 911 at its finest. And this is why legends like the 1974 911S Targa will always endure. Would you like me to make this narration even more cinematic and dramatic for YouTube voiceover pacing, with slightly shorter sentences, pauses, and emotional rhythm, or keep it in this smooth storytelling style?